Hey dudes and chicks, and neither of those rules don't apply to you. Welcome to Big for Last Time. My name is Katie. Today, again, I'm going to be doing another Get Ready With Me with the Sugar and Grunge palette by Blend Bunny. For a palette that I felt like I wasn't very inspired by, I'm actually busting out some shit with it. So I'm actually very inspired by it, and my inspiration grows the more I use it. Action creates clarity. So just saying, if you guys are interested in hearing what I have to talk about or seeing how I got this look, then just hang out. So I really feel like I'm getting to know this Sugar and Grunge palette. It's really starting to like come to me, like what I can do with it. And like, I think it's just really my like spirit is coming back. And so I'm going to start with my Lobotomy JH40. It's just like the M506. And I'm going to go into the color Garage Band. Ooh, that's pretty green. Ooh, that's... I don't know if this is going to work. I might have to do something else. I love this. So I'm going to talk about creative self-expression because it really is the language. Creative self-expression is the way that our spirit speaks through us, and it conveys a message to other people that words can't. And I just wanted to talk about that because creative self-expression is such an important part of our development, of our identity, of how we solve problems and we move through life. Because I believe that people underestimate the importance of creative self-expression. I think we're all kind of trapped in these little boxes where we're living up to other people's standards, and we're kind of just going to work and we're going through the motions and we're taking care of our families and we're doing what needs to get done to just make it. And we have lost sight of the things that people were created to do. People were created to be artistic. Like, love is art. Light is art. It just seems like so many of us have lost sight, and I feel like people don't understand how important creative self-expression is. When people talk about doing your makeup as a self-care practice, there's a lot of controversy about it because some people are of the idea that we have these beauty standards that we have to live up to, and so they've created an industry so that we can all feel the pressure of looking good, and then we have to spend all this money to like meet these standards. But the actual truth of it is that people since the beginning of time have wanted to control the way that they look. And I feel like one thing that that's always been really important to me is being able to control my appearance. It's one thing where I can always go, where I can actually like have a sense of control, and I make the say. I have the last say in the way that I look. And so people since the beginning of time have been wanting to control the way that they look. And so an industry was created to meet that need. It wasn't the other way around. I just wanted to talk, okay, here's what oh no, I'm not doing that. Okay, I'm going to go into 1995. I was going to do something else, but I'm going to do this instead. Creative self-expression is actually the way that we communicate our feelings and thoughts and emotions and our personality and everything else to the world. And that's the reason why people want to control the way that they look. It's not because they feel self-conscious. Like, that may be for some people, but that hasn't always been the case, and ultimately we want to control what people know about us. Creative self-expression is such an important part of being known. It's how we take our ideas and we turn them into reality. Like, we get a vision of who we are or who we want to be, and then we can become that through the way that we express ourselves in our appearance. So self-expression is a communication, it's a language, and learning how to speak it is just as important as any other self-care practice. There's actually expressive art therapy because creative self-expression is such an important tool in overcoming trauma, coping with stress. It's the way that we release our emotions and process our experiences. And so if you look at somebody who is very creatively expressive, there's a lot that you can know about that person just by the way that they look. And so creative self-expression speaks the words that we don't. And the saying, a picture speaks 1,000 words or whatever, a picture says 1,000 words. It's true that like what you want the world to see, you can say 1,000 times louder and 1,000 times more clear by expressing that through your appearance. So I feel like that's the reason why we feel the need to control the way that we look. It's not because we're trying to cover up our flaws. It's because we're trying to reveal pieces of ourselves that we want the world to see about us. That looks good. It actually helps like focus the mind. It reduces depression and promotes your mental health. It's as important of a wellness practice as any other wellness practice, I would say. I feel like the way that we express our needs and wants in a way that's more from the spirit is through our creative self-expression and our appearance. That's how we tell people, that's how we express to the world our needs and wants. And I think it's important for us to like think about like what is the message we're conveying with our appearance? Because is it aligned with our spirit? Because I feel like a lot of us are kind of just, especially when it comes to self-care and our beauty routines, we're basically just throwing ourselves together so that we're meeting other people's standards. But the truth is that your appearance is so much more powerful than that. And it's actually like when you can get it aligned with your spirit, you actually draw the things into your life that you want. The key, I think, is it's really about like finding out who you are, knowing what you want, and then expressing that in the way that you look. And then where you go, people know that that's like what's going on. It's like a way for you to be more vulnerable and let the world know, what am I going to do? I think I'm going to go into Sweetheart. I've actually been using that because I don't want to use that bright green because I don't want to bright it up like that. I want it to stay pretty grungy. So I'm using Sweetheart to keep it like a little more low key. The way that we present ourselves communicates our needs and wants to the world, to others, to ourselves. What do we think when we look in the mirror about ourselves? Like, are we saying what we want to say when we look at ourselves in the mirror? It's kind of a way to communicate your individuality, and it's actually a way of being more vulnerable. And we all know at this point that being more vulnerable is the only way to really suck the juice out of life and get the things that we want. Being vulnerable I have learned how to be vulnerable in some really scary ways. And my appearance has not been, it's never been difficult for me to express myself because I was so angry when I was young that I really wanted people to know it. And today, that's not how I feel. And today, I can use my look to communicate a message that draws a lot of positivity into my life. And I really want to help other people do that because it has really changed my life. And I have been able to tap into my inner artist. It's the way that I stay well. So when people are like, women do their makeup to cover up their flaws, I'm not doing my makeup to cover up my flaws. I'm doing my makeup to reveal something about myself that I don't have time to say in every ordinary conversation. And the way that I look attracts attention and it draws the things to me that I want in my life. It's an opportunity for me to take a risk with my true self and express my individuality in a way that draws my tribe to me, like you guys. Can I please stop saying "and so" for fuck's sake? I'm going back in to the deep green, the deep Garage Band. We've come so far away from self-care and doing the things that align our spirit that align us with our spirit and align our spirits to each other and to source your higher power, whatever you want to call it. I believe that creative self-expression, there's many forms of creative self-expression. It's not just makeup, it's any art form. Creative self-expression is the way that we tap back into our spirit and get back to what really matters. Because what really matters is that connection, and we're all feeling it. We're all feeling the weight of that shift changing in the world, that like people are really moving away from taking the meaning out of their life to grind away and blow off their families and not do the things that really matter. And we've all come away from taking care of the thing that matters most, which is ourselves and building our own self-love. And I feel like we do that a lot through art and creative self-expression. Being able to express your authentic self creatively to the world makes such a difference in your life. It's crazy the things that start to come into your life when you start to communicate your needs, and using your appearance to communicate your needs is super fun. I used to like hate being beautiful, and I used to hate the attention that I got from it. But it was because I felt insecure, and I felt insecure about being a woman, and I felt insecure about what that meant. You know, back in the day, it's like women got the shit rap, and we were all just like, oh, there was all this animosity between women, and like women hate each other, and women are always competing with each other and all that. And like, I just didn't really want to be a part of that. And I never wanted to get attention or get anything because of the way that I look. But I didn't understand that like the way that I look doesn't have anything to do with my actual features. The way that I look has to do with what I'm trying to say to the world. And what I'm trying to say is I want an abundance of love and wealth and attention and connection. That's what I'm trying to communicate with my appearance. And in being brave and like learning how to take a risk and be vulnerable with my personality, I have always been able to draw in exactly what I was looking for. So when I was younger, what I was drawing in was like negative attention, and people were always staring, and like I was getting mad at them, and like I got so defensive. And now like that's not what I'm communicating at all. I'm communicating I'm communicating a message of like love and respect and drawing in like a different kind of vibe. And it's really been a game changer for me. And I want to show you guys how to do that. It's a skill just like anything else. And I believe that learning how to speak the language of self-expression is life-changing, both inside and out. The response that you get from the world, but also the response that you get from yourself is totally life-changing. Okay, I'm going to turn the corner here because, you know, I'm going to say it's like with this palette, I wish there was just one shade up top that I just wish there was something different up there. I'm not sure what. Now I'm going to go in with my favorite Spectrum A08, and I'm going to go into the color Flannel. God, the way these Blend Bunny shadows work is just unbelievable. Look at the way that pink just covers that green. It's so satisfying. And with a Spectrum B06, I'm going to go into Skater Girl. And I'm going to use that to blend it out. I'm going to really bring this in so I can kind of get over that peach color. Yeah. Kind of going for a little bit of a darker mood, but not too dark. That looks really good. You know, vulnerability is just so important. Everything good that's ever come out of my life has come from me taking a really scary risk. And honestly, doing my makeup was one of those. Like, it was really hard for me to come out about doing my makeup and wanting to be a makeup YouTuber and wanting to tap into my femininity. That was really hard. Being a woman was a really big point of shame for me for so many years. Like, I just tried to cover up my femininity with like masculine tasks and masculine jobs and masculine language. And honestly, that's just a part of who I am. That's not gonna change. I'm gonna go into GarageBand under my lower lash line, and then I'm gonna kind of take this for another turn here, because I'm just gonna see what happens when I blend out this GarageBand with that flannel. It did look a lot more pink than it does in this look. It kind of went a little too red for me for a second there, because you guys know I hate Christmas looks. It looked a little Christmassy. It's really fun to see that this palette can really actually do something more than meets the eye. I don't know if it was just me being like so uninspired or what the deal was, but sometimes it's really hard for me to be creative when palettes are so lined out. Okay, I'm just gonna use this big brush right here because that's the one I used, and then I'm gonna use that to kind of... Ooh, that looks really good. Okay. I'm just kind of going on the side there. I don't want to go up on the... I'm just gonna leave that just like that. Now I'm going to do the other side. So for those of you who already do your makeup really well, and you spend and you have a lot of brush time in your life, if you're wondering why doing your makeup really does promote your mental health, and it really has improved your disposition and your life, the way that you see yourself, the way that other people see you, it's actually true. It's a scientific fucking fact that doing your makeup and expressing yourself creatively is a part of your development as a human being. It's actually just as important as meditation or fucking eating right, or it's an important part of your development. And in this journey, what we've come to know is we're not just done in our 40s, 50s, 60s. A lot of us are still working in our 40s, 50s, and 60s. Well, our 60s. 70s. People are still working in their 70s now. Life isn't just a gradual decline at 40 and then you just accept your fate. We're all coming to realize that there is so much more life after 40, and so much more life in your 50s and 60s that can be lived, and you can really just... all the things that you didn't do when you were younger, all the things that you wanted to do but got too busy, there's still so much opportunity to make those things happen in your life. And I believe that one of the things that it makes that a possibility is placing a high value on yourself, and placing a high value on communicating your needs and learning how to express yourself. There's no better tool to express yourself. Words are not as good of a tool as pictures. They're just not. Words fail us, sadly. Especially, I hate to say this. Oh God, I'm such a Gen Xer. I hate to say this, but people don't even know how to speak anymore. Oh, should I leave that? Shit. I went to the grocery store fucking probably a year ago. It's still obviously burning on my mind, but I went to spell donuts to ring up my donuts, and actually wrote DOUGH, and it wouldn't come up. And Zoe was like, Mom, it just came up. It's actually spelled at the grocery store DONUTS. And I'm like, that's not how you fucking spell donuts. What? I guess it is now. If you actually know how to spell donuts, don't even bother finding them at the grocery store, because it's not going to come up. So anyways, I just feel like people need to understand the value of creative self-expression, and understanding that if we're going to continue to develop in this life, which, as I just said, life is not over in your 40s, 50s, and 60s. We get to embark on a whole new journey, and we get to pay attention to all the things that we have been stifling back, and listen to the language of our spirit instead of damping it down and ignoring it, thinking that we're being ungrateful, thinking that, it's all over for us, thinking that we already made our choice and now we have to just live with it. That's not true. We were not created to do the same thing for our entire fucking lives. We just weren't. Embarking on a new journey of self-discovery and learning how to communicate that person to the universe to make it give you what you want. It's honestly the best option. Just trying to keep this down so that I can get that brighter pink, but I mean, this pink, dude, you guys know it gives me a total lady boner when I fucking can blend a pink into a green. That's like, nothing beats that. I'm going into Skater Girl, and I'm just bringing that up over the peach. God, these Blend Bunny shadows, for the love. I'm going to use my AOA E131 for my NYX glitter primer. I'm just taking that line up to the top of the darkest point so it creates an illusion that I have more lid than I do. And then I'm going to use the Zoeva 234, and I'm going to go into, grungy. And then I'm going to go into bubblegum. This shadow is so creamy, it's actually pretty difficult to pick up. I've noticed I've had difficulty with it with any brush that I've tried. Oh, there we go. Because usually this brush is like the best at picking up any texture of shimmer shadow. Ooh, this is going to be tough to blend together. Maybe not. Okay, now I'm going back into grungy. And I'm going to pull this pink. And tap this green and pull the pink. Okay. Yeah, I love that. Okay, what am I going to use for my inner corner highlight though? Tell me that. That's the reason why I get so excited when I create looks and when things come together, when things look so beautiful, is because creative self-expression and doing art to express yourself is a spiritual language. It's a spiritual experience, and it's like seeing the truth. I guess I'm going to use spellbinding. It's my favorite. You guys know it. So I'm going to use spellbinding in my inner corner with this like little tiny, teensy tiny Zoeva 238. God, this color. You know what? I'm going to use something else. I'm going to use this Unearthly UC 86. God, I love this color. It's just so great. I probably could have used Mirage too. It's actually got a little bit of a green shift, but cute. Okay, I'm gonna go finish the rest of my face and I'll be back when I'm done. So this is the Manifesto, the pièce de résistance. I use my Kiss lashes in the Naked Drama style. My Arthurine blush palette by Menagerie in Cloudberry for my blush, my Unearthly Lowlight in Spellbinding, my Unearthly lip liner in Carnage, my Lime Crime Velveteen Matte in Teddy Bear as my go-to, and then my Urban Decay 24/7 Gel Glide-On Pencil in Woodstock on my waterline. And I love this look. So I'm going to tell you guys, I actually went kind of back in and I took that Unearthly pencil brush and I used Don't Speak, and I kind of just blend that into the top line of the pink to just kind of make it a little pinker and not so nudie looking. I love it. I think it looks so pretty. It really came together. I also pulled that pink a lot further out and then just barely put a hint of it on the outside. You can't even actually see it. It's not even really there, but it's there. And so I guess the last thing that I wanted to say is I feel like deep down we all want to feel more known, more seen, more heard, more understood. We can use our appearance to say the words that we don't want to or can't say. And the way that we look communicates a message both to ourselves and to the world around us and to the universe. And so I just want to ask, like, what messages are we conveying in the way that we look? And are we conveying that we want excitement and fun and like new love and like new experiences? And I just want to teach people how to speak the language of self-expression. And I'm doing that in my course. But the first thing we have to do is learn how to listen to the language of our spirit and overcome the fear that's holding us back. So creative self-expression is a language, and I want to help you learn how to speak it. But first, we need to overcome the fear that's acting as a barrier from us hearing the messages from our spirit. And so also things that I teach you how to do in my 8-week program. It includes makeup application, spiritual practices to learning to better know yourself, recreating your identity, and overcoming fear. And so Go ahead and check that out in the link below. I look forward to seeing you guys there. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell because you can't wait to see what happens next. Hit the like button if you like this look, or if you like this video, or if you just like my sparkling personality, my boyish charm. And hang out with me in the comments because I fucking love it. If you got like halfway through this video and you're like, oh my god, she's so pretty till she opens her big fucking mouth, then go check me out on Instagram. I don't talk as much on Instagram. And if you were like, don't sugarcoat it, Katie, why don't you tell us how you really live, then go check out my Patreon because I don't hold anything back on my Patreon. I go live every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. It is the aptly named See You Next Tuesday. Thank you so much for watching. You could have been anywhere, but you were here wasting your time with me, and I totally appreciate you. Later.